Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in USL Championship. We'll get you ready for the postseason, end of the regular season, who's in, who's out, who made the races, who didn't, and where we go from here. And since it is a no-dilly, no-dally zone, we go backward before we go forward, get you over the last 7 days, and get you ready for the first round of the playoffs. In a game that was just playing out the string last Friday, Friday night football happened twice. It was FC Tulsa winning at Hartford Athletic by the final of 5-2. So FC Tulsa finishes their season with 3 goals in the first 17 minutes. Then they end up giving up one to Prince Sidey in the 30th to make it 3-1. Bernal scores to make it 4-1. Lappert scores to make it 4-2. And then Worth scores in the 82nd also. So it was 5-1, then 5-2, your final, in front of 6,500 sellout, Trinity Health Stadium. Danielle Chesky in the middle for FC Tulsa, getting the Duke on the 3-goal win. New Mexico United at the Lab knocks off Memphis 901 by the final of 4-1. And that solidifies New Mexico's chase at the moment. 4 goals on the board, 2 of them in the first 13 minutes. You get out of the blocks, and you're up 2-0, and that was the score at the break. Karsten von Stieg got one back with Sergei Demyanchuk in the middle. Then Greg Hurst scores a brace within 10 minutes, 61st and 71st, and that was the difference. New Mexico United 4-1 winners over Memphis 901. Once again, we'll go over the standings, where things stand, and then the activity this weekend in the first round of the playoffs coming up a little later on. Saturday, goalless draw, Detroit City and Pittsburgh. That meant that Detroit City got to watch Memphis got to watch the Miami FC take on Sacramento to figure out if they were in or out. Charleston Battery 1-0 winners over Birmingham Legion. That leads us to our match of the week in the East. At Lynn Family Stadium, Tampa Bay and Lou City. Great rivalry. 5-goal thriller. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends of the USL Championship, ESPN Plus and YouTube.
It's Louisville in the black from right to left. It is Tampa Bay in their neon from left to right. And the referee tonight is Nabil Ben Salah. And we're underway at Lynn Family Stadium, final day of the USL Championship regular season. It's the teams who have met in the last 3 Eastern Conference Finals. Games tend to start out interestingly. Here's Williams on cue. J.J. Williams on a giveaway 30 seconds in. A career-high 13th goal this season.
Minute, the pressure there from J.J. Williams. Then Cal Jennings forcing this pass right into J.J. Williams. The pressure. Shantosh trying to look for options, but relentless pressure by Jennings and Williams there to put their side up.
It's through Perez and to LaCava. Jake LaCava step over to his left. LaCava off the post. That's how quickly Tampa Bay can counter on you.
Season and why they sit at 58 total goals. Jake LaCava driving at this Lou City backline.
Chance brewing here. Maris leaves it. Jimenez. McCabe feeds it wide. Tellefson floats it. The header! The equalizer! Manny Perez ties it up in the 19th minute.
And then the ability to find this ball out wide. But then the delivery. And then the run, the timing, and then you have to have that final action. And Manny Perez, that final action, that header, equalizes for Lou City. After conceding that first goal.
Now they want to get out in transition. Jennings, LaCava running out ahead. Jennings taken down from behind by Ownby, and the yellow's coming out of the pocket. First yellow card of the night brought to you by World of Beer.
For his team. And the Tampa Bay Rowdies goal was so early that we didn't really get to see.
Plenty of big targets to get on the end of this one from Doherty. Floats it top of the 6. Williams tugged down. Still save made by Zemla. And the call was made for a penalty. You almost had to wonder why it wasn't made sooner. J.J. Williams completely dragged down. Still managed to get his head on it some way, somehow.
J.J. Williams putting himself in a position on this corner to draw this penalty. And it does look like Forrest Lasso might have had a touch on that as well. And
Williams for his second of the night, but he puts it over the bar. Maybe one's going to go in. So a bit of both of those things as to why they've had such a heavy tilt towards scoring in the second half.
Correct, and that's why.
Good touch inside here by Jennings. Cal Jennings coming in alone, takes it too wide. Can he recover? Jennings goes for goal and finds it anyway. His 18th of the year. When you're hot, you're hot. And now Tampa Bay's up 2-1.
That second touch put him too far and at an angle that he wasn't going to beat Oliver Zemla, and allowing Lou City defenders to get back in the picture. But as you mentioned, when you're hot, you're hot. And the deceptive movement here, you think he's out of the play, just to pull it back, and then the quick trigger there. But that first touch into space, leading himself past that goal by Cal Jennings. They're going to feel like if they can fine-tune some of these details.
And they're looking for more. Here comes Jennings again. Cal Jennings, saved by Zemla. No, it caroms in. He got his leg to it. Finds it anyway. The beneficiary of 2 deflections, Cal Jennings. And now he has 19 on the season.
They play a terrific ball into Cal Jennings to score the second one. And then this ball from J.J. Williams. And when you have explosive offenses like the Tampa Bay Rowdies do, it's when you first regain possession, you look at Tampa Bay Rowdies, their initial idea is to go forward. And that's where J.J. Williams, he picks the ball up at midfield, and now come playoff time, some of those players are fully prepared for the role that they might be asked to play in, because as you see in this matchup, you score early, Lou City takes all of the momentum, puts Tampa Bay Rowdies in the back foot, as you can see, because obviously emotions are running high. Lou City going down 1 goal, getting back in the match at 1-1, and then conceding 2 goals quickly.
Maris over the bar. Tried to get one right back before the half. Not quite.
Moving defenders, manipulating space.
Free kick on the way for Tampa Bay. A yellow card is attached to it for Kyle Adams. And right now, given away. Jennings on the run with Williams. Cal Jennings looking for his hat trick. And it's a corner.
And it looked like early on, and here's this pressure again from Cal Jennings, and it looked like he had J.J. Williams earlier. Could have slipped a ball in between Kyle Adams and Sean Tosh, but elects to keep driving, but earning a corner kick here.
Martin Powell's for Brian Ownby. Cam Lancaster for Niall McCabe. 2 subs brought to you by Fortnite.
Simple moments for Tampa Bay into some dangerous opportunities.
Yeah, we might see some of that physical play ramp back up in the late stage with this game seemingly in hand. Lancaster picks up a World of Beer yellow card. The way the first 2 shots might have been going wide of target as well, but deflected on in.
He has just been incredibly active all night with the press on the ball. But you do need to recognize what you need to grow from and the details that need to help you find success in the playoffs. And for Tampa Bay Rowdies,
Perez, nifty move, now the strike taken, and it finds the netting. Maybe some hope at the last for Louisville. Piccolo wanted it. Tampa Bay found it, and there's the final whistle. Two rivals play another classic, finishes 3-2. Tampa Bay now has a chance to host the final.
So Tampa Bay got the win. They got full points, and we'll go over the math coming up in just a little bit. In the West, beautiful downtown Colorado Springs Switchbacks, 2-0 winners over Phoenix Rising. In a crossover, RGV finishes their season with full points, beating Loudoun by the final of 2-1. San Antonio and Indy 11, crazy match at Toyota Field. Shared result, goal by Indy in the 9th. Then you end up with Sebastian Guinzotti scoring in the 37th to make it 2-0 to the visitors. And then you get a penalty at 45 plus 4 to make it 2-1 at the break in front of just over 8,000 in San Antonio. Adrian Dispay would score in the 53rd to make it 3-1 Indy 11, but back San Antonio would come, and it would be Oluwaseyi in the 58th and then Mitchell Tainer in the 87th, and it would be a 3-3 draw. Orange County 1-0 winners at Cardinal over Monterey Bay, which leads us to our match in the West. El Paso Locomotive at Pioneer Stadium at Cal State East Bay would take on the Oakland Roots. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends once again at the USL Championship, ESPN Plus, and YouTube.
33 matches have been played. Only the next 90 minutes matter to determine which of these two teams makes the postseason. Benny Diaz, former goalkeeper of the Roots, began last season here. And he's coming back home, essentially. Diaz and Blanchette at opposite ends, the goalkeepers, can become Ironmen tonight. It slipped through. Opportunity for Sanupe. Puts it through the legs of Blanchette. Flag stayed down. El Paso's on top.
Initial pressure, and there's a ton of real estate. Hard to see there out of our screen, but Sanupe just gets off the shoulder of Emmer Clemenza and Tarek Murad as Paul Blanchette comes off his line. Cool as you would like. First touch out of his body, straight through the legs, off to the corner against the run of play. But what a fantastic start this is for El Paso Locomotive to silence all 6,000 plus in the building here. It's funny, Joe, we talked about the game in Texas earlier this season. Two of the goals from the Oakland Roots have come from just pumping the ball into the dangerous area.
Cedeno goes for goal. Diaz at his near post, out for another corner.
Gives you a different look from the right side with the absence of Ryan Tamat.
So far getting the job done. Swung in, top of the sixth, the header. How about that? Two for El Paso on the road. It's the loney Noah Dolenmeyer. His first goal since joining the Locomotive, and they're up 2.
Boxes. Brilliant ball in. And you tell your big man, just go up and get it. Dolenmeyer. Petrovic, a lot of pace, a lot of venom. That's not X and O's, that's just a willingness to get on the end of it. Right off the shoulder, between Dry and front of Tarek Murad. Doesn't need to hit it too hard, just needs to help it on. Use the momentum to your favor. Nothing Paul Blanchette can do. Up to the corner once again.
It helps when you're 6'6". Just find the tall guy. Dolenmeyer gets it done. An even steeper hill to climb now for Oakland. They must win. For El Paso, it's a winner draw to get through. And a yellow granted to Johnny Rodriguez.
Give your side any sort of disadvantage. We see the arms failing. Clear foul from Johnny Rodriguez. The left arm thing.
San Diego 4. Something behind the play was spotted by Duanjai. And a yellow card was given in the El Paso direction. McHugh taken quickly. Cedeno, top of the box, something off the training ground. Denaciano. Diaz has it. Half an hour into this one. Happy to have you with us on Judgment Weekend. It is decision time for these two teams. Winner or draw gets El Paso in as the 8th seed. Oakland, a win gets them in that final spot. Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. The temperatures are starting to flare here. Another yellow card doled out. This one to Chapa Herrera. No VAR, but sort of even out at the end of the day. Probably would have pulled back El Paso's first goal, at least on the evidence we've gathered. But giveth and taketh, probably playing with 9 men right now, the Oakland Roots. Diaz. Moves it along for Cedeno. That's it on Dollenmeyer. Back out on Dollenmeyer. Cedeno back inside, taken down, penalty. A lifeline for the Roots. And it's the spark plug that is Jesse El Cedeno. Captain, I can talk to you, but there's a line you don't have to cross.
Exactly where you want Cedeno. Downhill, knows exactly what he's doing to Dollenmeyer. Spins him like a top, inside and out. Little drop of the shoulder. Here you go, see you later. Not a lot of contact, but you make the most of it, that's for sure. There is contact on the trailing leg. Brilliant individual work from Cedeno.
Johnny Rodriguez from the spot, and Johnny Rodriguez is denied by Benny Diaz. What a stop by the former member of the Oakland Roots.
And that little bit of hesitation gives Lima Mafeka the ability to get on the half turn, so you need a bit more relationship on this near side for the Oakland Roots.
Driven ball in, the header is off frame by Rodriguez. He stands frozen for a moment. Cedeno. Memo Diaz, back for Cedeno. Right on the front foot, Oakland, to begin this second half. Cedeno cuts it back. Cedeno to Reed, blocked on the way in. Pelais! What a moment for Anwar Pelais! Oakland has life!
In the last 5, you make some tactically changes for Nel Delgado, and you tell your Magic players, go out and produce for me. Go out and pull something out of a hat. It falls kindly for Pelais. So instinctual, so clinical. Fantastic individual brilliance, and that's exactly what Noel Delgado wanted and the Oakland Roots needed. And we're Pelais.
Reed, overlap coming from Diaz. Reed goes for goal. Benny Diaz has it. Cedeno lost it. And Gomez. Sanupe to his right. Gomez gets past Clementa, still with it. What a run from Gomez. Just Blanchette to beat, cuts it back. Gomez still loose. Blanchette has it. Beat everybody on his way to goal. Probably should try to avoid the 6-6 man on these deliveries in if you're Oakland. And it was the 6-6 Stollenmeyer who headed a goal home. That would be the winning goal right now. Made it 2-0 back in the 14th minute. Diaz again, loose in front. Another bike attempt going toward goal, and it's over the bar. Abakar Jai, the author of that attempt, tonight at 7 Eastern, plus live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Yellow card for Memo Diaz. And a pass back over the last few minutes. Might be time to take that one out of the playbook with 15 minutes to go.
Just silly mistakes from this back line of the Oakland Roots. Not enough weight on the ball back to Paul Blanchette.
Over 6,100 announced in-house here at Pioneer Stadium by 300 fans. A record for the Oakland Roots on a record night. Pushed along for Calvillo, left for Gomez. It's a 3v1, making a 4v1 as Zacharias joins. Herrera with it. Zacharias with him, taken down from behind. A yellow card for Memo Diaz, who already has one. So his season is over, it appears. Anyway. Calvillo, saved by Blanchette. Out for a corner, a chance to take some more time off. Cedeno wants to hurry them along, but it might be too little too late. There's your final whistle. After missing out in 2022, El Paso is back in the playoffs.
Big win for El Paso, and they are in the postseason. So is Detroit City. Sacramento Republic knocked off the Miami FC at Hard Health 1-0, and Sacramento would get full points, and the Miami FC would be looking from the outside in. San Diego Loyal at Las Vegas Ballpark, and Summerlin knocked off Vegas Lights by the final of 2-0. And that would get us to our standings, finding out who's in and who is out in the playoffs for 2023. Pittsburgh, they had it all locked up. They were at 67 points going. They were 4 points clear. They would finish with 67 points. They would be your number one. Tampa Bay at number 2 at 63. Charleston Battery at 59. Memphis 901 at 52. Lou City at 50. Indy 11 at 49. Birmingham Legion at 46. Detroit City's draw would get them in. And in the head-to-head, Detroit City bested the Miami FC, and that would be how they would get in, even though they were behind on goal difference. Same record, same number of points. Head-to-head went to Detroit City. Eliminated from playoff contention, it was the Miami FC. FC Tulsa at 39 points, winning on their last day. Loudoun finished with 25 points at 7-23-4, and the season for Hartford Athletic is over with a record of 4-24-6, 18 points on the season. In the West, Sacramento, they would go number one with 64 points. Orange County, 17 wins in 34 matches after a slow start, 57 points. They would be number 2. San Diego Loyal, number 3. San Antonio, with the draw, had a chance to get to number 2. Instead, they're at number 4, 56 points at 14-6-14. Colorado Springs is your 5 at 53 points, unbeaten in their last 5. Phoenix Rising, strong push in the latter months, got them to 48 points, even though they would lose their last 2, 12-10-12. 12-10-12 after 34 matches, they're your 6. El Paso, with their win, would catapult into the postseason, and they would be the 7. New Mexico United would end up being the 8, winning 3 in a row to wrap up their year. RGV would not make it in after hitting each column once in the last 3 at 43 points. Roots, losing 3 in a row, back into the schedule, was the nemesis for Roots this year, as it was for Monterey Bay, 42 and 41 points respectively. Vegas Lights, with their disastrous start, would wrap up the season 321-10 and have 19 points. Your news in and around USL Championship, Team of the Week for Week 32. Player of the Week, Cal Jennings, for what he was able to do, with 2 goals and an assist in the 3-2 win, as you heard earlier, against Lou City at Lynn Family. 3rd award this year, Player of the Month award for September. Single season high, 19 goals overall in the campaign. 45% of the ballot. Greg Hurst, 36%. And the Championship Player of the Week selected by the National Media Panel. That would lay things out for you with Cal Jennings winning Player of the Week, brought to us by our friends at Konami eFootball. Rest of the roster for you in net: Benny Diaz for El Paso Locomotive for the win against Roots. Backline, Dizpay for Indy 11. Duke LaCroix for Switchbacks. Devin Amumensa for Detroit City. Midfield, Amando Moreno from New Mexico United. Adrian Perez from Loyal. Cam Lindley from Indy 11. Zico Bailey from New Mexico United. And your 3 up top, Jennings, Marcus Epps from FC Tulsa, and Greg Hurst from New Mexico United. Your bench, Colorado Springs, Christian Herrera, Jonathan Ricketts from RGV, Derek Dodson from Charleston, Alejandro Guido from Loyal, Nick Markanich from Charleston, who scored the goal in their win, J.J. Williams from Tampa Bay, and Moses Dyer from FC Tulsa. Power rankings as we head into the postseason. Once again, no real surprise of the top 4. Pittsburgh's Switchbacks. This is power rankings, mind you. Pittsburgh, Switchbacks, Sacramento, and San Diego. Orange County up 2-5, Tampa Bay up 2-6, Battery up 3-7, Indy 11 up 1-8, San Antonio up 2-9, New Mexico up 3 to number 10, which meant that Memphis dropped 5-11. The Miami FC dropped 7 points to number 12. Detroit City up 2-13, El Paso up to 14, which meant Legion were down 3 to number 15. FC Tulsa up 3-16. Then it would be Lou City at 14, 12, and 8. Uncharacteristic way to finish out their season, closing in and around 500. Down 3-19. Hartford Athletic down to 22. Vegas and Loudoun 23 and 24. Loudoun United 1 point over their final 8 matches this season. Also on the board, Goal of the Week nominees for Week 32, and you can vote on that until Thursday at noon Eastern Time. Jairo Enriquez from Colorado Springs against Phoenix. Cameron Lancaster for his goal against Tampa Bay. Alex Moniz from RGV against Loudoun United. And Anwar Pelaez from Oakland Roots for his goal against El Paso. Enriquez, Lancaster, Moniz, and Pelaez voting until Thursday at noon Eastern across all of the USL platforms, including through the USL app itself, available for iOS and Android. Once again, don't forget to be a part of the Fan Zone every single week. Go to uslchampionship.com, click on the banner, be a part of the conversation with fellow fans in and around the league all season long. And also on the social media front, 280-character app, Facebook, and on the IG, the Gram, or the Insta, all at USL Championship, and you can join in there with all of the information and all of the stuff that you need to know. Golden Boot goes to Albert Diqua. He won after Sacramento Republic's Danny Vitiello gets the Golden Glove. San Antonio FC's Jorge Hernandez got Golden Playmaker. Albert Diqua got the Golden Boot for the year 2023. And in his fourth season in Pittsburgh, led the championship with 20 goals, almost doubling his career total for the regular season goals in the process. First hat trick of his career in the second game of the campaign back in March. And that was a springboard for him to work his way forward. So Albert Diqua, Golden Boot, Danny Vitiello, Sacramento Golden Glove, Golden Playmaker, Jorge Hernandez from San Antonio FC, 10 assists in 1,905 minutes this season in San Antonio. So that's some of your early awards when it comes to what is going on in the season. So you want your schedule now and lay things out and how things are going to be for the postseason. Available on the ESPN family of networks, ESPN Plus, a place to start. And here's where it all ends up on Saturday and Sunday. It is Memphis 901 hosting Lou City at 6:30 Eastern at AutoZone Park. 7 o'clock at Highmark, your 1-8, as Detroit City goes to Pittsburgh. So it is a redo, except the venue is different from the last week of the regular season. Tampa Bay hosting Birmingham Legion at 7:30. 9 o'clock at Toyota Field. It is San Antonio hosting Switchbacks. 10 o'clock at Hard Hill, Sacramento hosting New Mexico United in the 1-8 out west. Your 2-7 out west in Irvine, California at 10:30. Orange County hosting El Paso Locomotive. Sunday, 2 matchups, 4 o'clock at Patriots Point. It is Charleston Battery hosting Indy 11. And at 10 o'clock at Torero, San Diego Loyal is hosting Phoenix Rising. So that's your matchups in a USL Championship for the first round. There is no reseeding after wins. So however you lock this up, this is how it will continue to go rolling forward. Your juice boxes on your Saturday. Memphis at home is a plus 110, hosting Lou City, who's a plus 229. The 90-minute draw is in and around that particular number, just on the underside of plus 225. Pittsburgh, big favorite at home at a minus 185. Tampa Bay, favorite at home against Birmingham at a minus 123. San Antonio, favorite at home at a minus 116. Sacramento, a minus 169 at home against New Mexico. Orange County, a minus 139 as El Paso comes to town. Charleston, a plus 102 on Sunday afternoon. One of the more interesting numbers attached as Indy 11 comes to town at a plus 265. And your draw in 90 minutes is a plus 202. Loyal, or a minus 108, hosting Phoenix. Draws a plus 225, and Phoenix Rising is a plus 266. That's your juice boxes. That's your rundown of what's going on. That's all the news that's able to be printed when it comes to USL Championship. If you are in any of the markets that's got a home game, go and witness the second division of the U.S. Soccer Pyramid. Very, very tight competitions across the board and some really cool matchups in the opening weekend of the postseason. If you are not in market and want to follow along, you can follow along on your local providers attached to your favorite clubs. And if for some reason you're out of market and can't follow along on local providers, then do so at ESPN Plus. They are the home of a USL Championship postseason as we try to determine a champion in 2023. It's been a long regular season, and the postseason is about to get underway. So enjoy the postseason as the sprint to determine a champion continues in at USL Championship. For everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Played safe, everybody. Enjoy the games in USL Championship.